Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Adam. This is Open Late. And tonight I am unboxing the G.I. Joe Classified Snake Eyes in Timber version 2, uh, which I am admittedly pretty excited to open. A lot of people kind of suggesting that maybe we've had enough versions of Snake Eyes. I say I say boo to that. I love Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is my favorite. I will take every and all versions of Snake Eyes. Um, this one I think is going to be a lot of fun. I'm very interesting to get this out of the box and compare this to all the other versions of Snake Eyes that we've gotten so far. And I'm really looking forward to the white timber in there as well. So without further ado, let's take a look. So we got the plastic-free packaging with the full card art. This has got sort of that wintry scene, the polar bear in the cabin. So that really just kind of reminds me of when Snake Eyes meets Timber in the Sunbow cartoon, in the wilderness. Now they don't have, the old blind hermit, but I would say that's about as close as we're going to get to that sort of Sunbow reference. And then the art, of course, wraps around with Snake Eyes on the side there. Then on the back, of course, we get the box content. So we get Snake Eyes and Timber, plus the full loadout there as well. We get his sort of file card info on there as well that we will see on the side. But it's nicely displayed on the back as well. We get sort of the measurements and all that kind of stuff. All in all, pretty straightforward for G.I. Joe Classified packaging. He is, of course, number 52 in the series. The bottom has legalese. But let's get in there. So we get the foot locker that we've been getting with these now. Snake Eyes and Timber right up top. And number 52 on there as well. So that's going to have all the goodies, all the accessories. And then, of course, we get Snake Eyes and Timber hunched forward severely, like he's hungover, in the package there. Right off the bat, he's a slightly different color than I thought he was going to be. He's more of a gunmetal gray as opposed to a black. And Timber is sort of a cream color, more than a pure white. He looks really good. They both look really good. But yeah, as I always, so I'll leave that there. As I always do, I'll get into the accessories. We got a few people hanging out today. Masterversal Toy Hunters here. What's going on? Good evening there, sir, and good to see you again. And you, Masterversal Toy Hunter. Sam Rock is hanging out. Immortan Jojo says, hey. What's going on, everyone? As usual, if you guys, now this box is pretty empty. Some of these have been like really full with these waxed paper bags, but this one's just, I think it's funny that they use so much cardboard for these, but it is what it is. I'm not complaining. We get the legalese in there as well. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to post them in the comments. If you're watching after the fact, fire me a question if you need, and I will try to answer. I always try to answer if people ask me a question. But are you guys cool with more versions of Snake Eyes, or is one enough for you? I'm getting to the point where with a lot of the like the Tiger Force stuff and Python Patrol stuff, I'm starting to pass on that stuff because I don't necessarily need those decos. Snake Eyes is the exception. I think Storm Shadow is sort of an exception as well. I'll take just about any and all versions. Ninja Snake Eyes, Commando Snake Eyes, blue Snake Eyes, purple Snake Eyes. I'd love a red Snake Eyes, like that Dead Game comic that Rob Liefeld did. what was it, last year or 2 years ago? I'll take all of them. All right, so I'm getting all this stuff out of the box here. I realize I'm gonna need scissors. Which of course I didn't have right at hand, so I just had to grab those. Master Versal says I'll probably just be getting one Snake Eyes myself when I can. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's I know Master Versal that you're not a huge classified collector as such, so that makes perfect sense for you. I could totally understand. I mean, up until Python Patrol and sorry, I'm trying to find the best spot to... Up till Python Patrol and Tiger Force, I had pretty much picked up everything from Classified. So, you know, I've got a lot of versions of Snake Eyes already. But being that he is my favorite character, I'm certainly not complaining. So he comes in the pretty standard now deco classified figures. This used to just be sort of an insert in the sleeve, and then the bubble would sit on that because we're doing plastic free packaging now. This is just, you know, a thicker piece of cardboard, and they've been using this like twiny type string to attach figures, which is fine. I don't care one way or the other. I mean, I'm opening toys. You know, you're watching me open toys, so clearly I'm not. I keep the packaging for posterity's sake, but I don't really keep it for any reason other than that. These Foot Lockers, these are kind of cool. I mean, I don't love them. I don't dislike them. They're just sort of like, yeah, you know, if you're gonna put something like that in the box, I'd be happy to use it. I can throw it in the video here, and you know, I won't throw it out, but. All right, so we've got all the accessories out. We've got the figure out. Let's get this guy hopefully standing. Fix that ab crunch so he's standing up tall. Timber's all bent out of shape. Let's see if we can't get him standing. His paws are all twisted. The articulation on these wolves is fantastic. And if I'm being perfectly honest, my figure of the year for 2021, not 2022, but for 2021 was the Timber that came with the Snake Eyes and Timber 2-pack last year. This wolf is just an absolutely fantastic sculpt. It's a great figure, and in its own right, like I said, was sort of my figure of the year last year. And I don't want to force any joints, but I do want to try to get him to stand up so that he doesn't. Yeah, it's pretty good there. I'm just going to tighten the shot up a little bit. Now that he's out of the package, he doesn't need quite as wide a shot. So let's see if we can't get something like that. There we go. That'll do. He can stand back just ever so slightly. Timber can hang out there. I'll take a look at the accessories, then I'll take a look at the deco on the Snake Eyes. I don't love this angle. Hold on. And we'll compare this deco to other decos that we've seen so far from Snake Eyes. Let me jump back in the comments here. Tyler said, I think we can pause on Snake Eyes. Want to see the next version of Storm Shadow, version 2. That's the one high on my list. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think that's, I'm very much looking forward to that version as well. I'm looking forward to a few versions of Storm Shadow. And the thing is, with the number of figures that we get, I don't think it's like, I think we're going to continue to get lots of versions of Snake Eyes. That's just the way it's going to be. which makes sense, right? It's like Optimus Prime or Bumblebee from Transformers, or like He-Man in Motu. Like you're not going to go too long without getting versions of Snake Eyes in any GI Joe line, just because he's the most iconic character for sure, and I'm okay with that. Immortan Jojo says, I've been avoiding the classified line, a rabbit hole I can't go down, but if they did a Ninja Force Snake Eyes, then that would be tempting. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Master Versal says, mostly Motu and now Mythic Legions. But the 80s kids soft spot for G.I. Joe. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I also collect Transformers, Bill and Ted, Star Wars, Doctor Who, TMNT, Star Trek, just to name a few. Some good stuff in there. Some good stuff in there for sure. There's a few lines there that I'm sort of doing the same thing. I'm just trying to stay away from because I just don't have room. I just can't afford to do them. But anyway. All right. So first off, let's take a look at what we've got in the package here. First things first, we will look at the spare hand. So he has this. So at first I thought this was just sort of a martial arts hand, but there's actually like a gripper in there. So that's for sort of wall climbing, I guess, sort of thing. I think that's the first time we've gotten that hand, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. I'm willing to admit that. And then we get this throwing star throwing hand, which we've seen a couple times already. So this came in the 00 Hasbro Pulse exclusive, sort of first edition of Snake Eyes. It also came in the Fortnite version of Snake Eyes, which I include as a classified figure, even though some people don't. I think the deco on it is actually really, really fantastic. But I understand why some people say it's not a classified figure. It's not numbered. It's not. It sort of doesn't fit in. It's in a Fortnite box, so it's not a. It's a Fortnite figure. So, okay, that's fine. So he gets this, which we've already seen with the Alley Viper, which is a cool weapon. I'm happy to get a spare because this will go in a weapons rack in sort of a Cobra base type thing. Don't necessarily need it for Snake Eyes. Again, this is an Alley Viper weapon there. And then, of course, a third Alley Viper weapon. They're all great weapons in sort of their own right, but I don't necessarily need them for Snake Eyes. Then he gets the dagger that we've seen before. I think that's come with a couple different versions of Snake Eyes, which will fit nicely in the side holster or the knife sheath on his leg. We also get the pistol with the silencer that we have had before as well. That does not want to sit on my hand nicely. There, that's a little bit better. We've had these before. I like the look of them. I think they're scaled well. I think they're sort of modernized just enough that they look pretty good. And these, of course, are going to go in the holster on his leg. You got to find that perfect sweet spot where the suppressor fits, where it's not sort of bumping into his thigh, but it doesn't look totally awkward. I'm going to put it right there. That silencer fits on the on this beauty as well. To me, this is always going to be Snake Eyes gun. Always. That was sort of what he came with in the vintage figure. That's what he had in the comic books on the cover of the Silent issue, so on and so forth. So that's Snake Eyes gun to me. But I also always like that they include the sword, and this sword has kind of been standardized for Snake Eyes now. I think the shape, at least in the classified line, this is unique in that it is painted. We've had this a couple times before, but it's just had a black blade. But this is a nice silver blade, which I think is a really nice addition. So if you're sort of working on an ultimate version of Snake Eyes, I think this is the right blade, and that of course comes with a sheath. The sheath is in brown and gray. I think you can see it pretty well in that angle there. And the sword, of course, fits nicely into the sheath. Then we get the scarf, the Schmeg, I believe it is called. This was the same one that we got with Stalker. And you're gonna have to take his head off to pop that scarf on, but I'll do that in a sec after I've sort of gone over the deco, if I remember to do that at all. I've realized that in these videos, I have a tendency to say that I'm going to compare something or talk about something or do something, and then I just don't do it, and I finish the video, and I go, oh yeah, didn't I say that I was going to do that? Jay Wright said, a scarf looks better on the version with the gray timber. Okay, I will keep that in mind, and I will definitely try that out when I get there. Jay said, mine didn't come with a silencer. Well, mine, I think this is like a grappling hook gun, and I think it's supposed to come with a hook, and mine didn't come with a hook. Or is it? Maybe it's not supposed to come with that. No, it's on the box. The box shows this hook here, and mine doesn't have a hook. Oh well. Like I said, it's just a spare anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal, but it is kind of annoying. Life goes on. I don't need it. He would never have used it. Last but not least, we get the spare Timberhead, the snarling, mean Timberhead, which I will probably get a second set of these to get a second wolf, and I'll display one with the snarly head and one with the slightly more docile, friendly, nice timber. So that's the other face that we get, you know, still with the scar. The scar is pretty pronounced on this one, which is okay. I think if I get a second one, I might try to white that out and sort of clean that up a little bit so that they're a little bit different. But again, there's like paint app to this. Mine's a little messy in one little spot there. But the paint app looks good. Like I said, it's not a white, it's more of a cream, more of a porcelain or ceramic. I don't know. Take your pick of sort of beige type colors. It's that. He looks good though. He looks great. Now, which version do I like more? I don't know. That's going to be a tough question. This one looks really good. This one looks really good. Better than I kind of thought it was going to be. I'm kind of torn because I think a gray wolf makes more sense. But this looks really good and is kind of more accurate to like the vintage snake eyes. Or sorry, the vintage timber. So like I said, yeah, I'm torn. Maybe when we get to sort of comparisons, if I forget, remind me, and I'll grab my timber and I'll grab the vintage one as well, sort of compare. Jay said it was my first no window package figure. Yeah, I don't think mine has a hook either. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe they're just not in the boxes. I honestly haven't seen any reviews on this figure, so I don't know. I have a tendency to not watch reviews of figures that I'm gonna open, so that I don't have any sort of idea of what I'm sort of getting into. I've seen pictures of this unboxed, but I haven't seen anybody unbox it. First impressions, the deco is fantastic. The colors on this are great. He has sort of a drab olive sort of color to his pants, black boots. Like I said, it's not truly black on most of this. It's sort of gunmetal dark gray on the knee pads and on the upper legs. The chest is I get this out of the way so you can sort of see. The chest is gray with the armor panels being black. So the armor panels are black. Sort of all the armor is black. There's a couple hits of black. He's got black grenades, but all together, it's more of a gunmetal gray. And then his harness is I would say it's gray. It's sort of a greeny gray. Looks really, really good. Very, very clean, very nice. All of the sort of harness stuff, the belt, you know, his grenade belt, the web gear, all that stuff is all in that sort of same color. He's got lace-up boots. So instead of the ninja boots, instead of the sort of stompers that he came with in that Commando version. So this is, you know, it's a slightly different version than we've gotten so far with the sort of different stuff that we get on there. Now the sword, I'm gonna peg on here. I actually find with mine, I prefer to put the strap below where I peg the sword in, and I feel like it sits a little bit better. But that's just my personal preference. I can't get over the silver sword. The silver sword looks really, really good. Anyway, I'll tuck it in there for now. Comparison wise, how's this guy gonna rank in terms of deco? I will start with the 00 first version, the limited edition version. It's a toss-up. This is my favorite version. This one's gonna give it a run for its money. When I sort of mess around with these and sort of, you know, do some kit bashing and swapping, my favorite version might be somewhere in between these. And what I mean by that is I may swap some of the parts and just sort of see which color combinations work really, really well. But this is sort of the closest in terms of similarity. Really, the only difference is the boots, or the biggest difference is the boots. That might be the only difference between those two figures. I think that's the only difference. Like the deco is obviously different, but those boots are different as well. This, of course, the standard release, which I think was 02. Same figure as the 00, just in the all black. Looks really, really slick. I still love this figure. But I'm gonna say that those are still, you know, my favorite. Then, of course, famously, we got the movie version, which I won't talk about. I like this figure. I just don't think it's as good as the other Snake Eyes figures that we've gotten. Then, of course, we got the Commando Snake Eyes, which is the version that we got with the Timber, the other version of Timber. These are so different. These are like the version 1 and version 2 of the vintage figures. And I like them both. I really like this figure a lot. I'm really looking forward, though, to the retro carded Snake Eyes, because I think it's a more true to the vintage of the version 1. And then infamously, I think, we got the Fortnite version of Snake Eyes, which until we got this guy, I was saying was a really underrated version, because he's got sort of that gunmetal with the gloss black helmet, the silver. Really great figure. I actually did an unboxing for this and a review of this, and I love this guy. I love this deco. I think it's fantastic. This is probably better though. So I think, man, it's kind of a coin toss between these two versions. And like I said, once I sort of swap some of the parts around, I might find sort of the perfect version. But if you didn't get the 00, this is a really, really great version of Snake Eyes. If what you're looking for in your version of Snake Eyes is something a little bit more modern. I say that because he's not black. A lot of people sort of get hung up on, you know, Snake Eyes has to be all in black. And if you're in that camp, you know, fair play. This might not be the Snake Eyes for you, because like I said, he has olive pants and it's sort of gray torso, but dang, he looks good. My only complaint, I think, is the color of the sort of plastic straps, the belt and stuff like that. And after I swap the 00 stuff onto this, that might be my favorite version. Let me grab Timber. I will do a quick comparison of Timber. They're in different spots. So that is the previous version of the classified Timber that we got. And this is the original vintage Timber. As you can see, we get the gray version, which I think looks like a fantastic wolf. Really great. I really like that deco a lot, but it's certainly not a match for this version 2. This color wise, I was thinking that might be more sort of what we got, but this one's still a little bit gray. This one is, like I said, sort of an off-white or sort of a cream color. So still not quite this version. Maybe version 3 of Timber will be like this color. So he'll be sort of somewhere in between these two versions, but we shall see. Anyways, that's Snake Eyes. That's Timber. They look absolutely fantastic. As expected, I certainly wasn't expecting anything less than what I got here. They're great. They're absolutely stunning. This is, as I said, quite possibly the best deco, and if not, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. So Jay said mine didn't come with silencer or the hook, right? So Jay said the scarf doesn't work well when he has his sword on his back. No, that's sort of the only drawback. And that's, you know, when they include stuff like this, I like that they've included this because I'll probably include it on a different figure. I don't know that I'm going to put it on Snake Eyes, but I'm happy to get something like this for sort of kit bashing and for fodder. I might do like a bit of a black wash on this because the texture on this is really, really great. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the texture, but it's like really well done. There's sort of that fabric texture, and the texture kind of drapes with the scarf itself. So it's really well done. A bit of a black wash might pull that out. So I'm certainly going to try that. This matches, or the thing it matches closest to is the color of his legs, but it's not a perfect match. This is a little more brown. This is a little more olive green. But here, let's, for the sake of you checking this out, let's just quickly try to pop Snake Eyes' head off. That satisfying pop. I think too, I'm going to remove this grenade belt because I think that's not going to sit quite right with the scarf on. And right away, I don't love this scarf on him anyway. So there he is with the scarf, but it doesn't sit quite right. It doesn't sit as well as it does on Stalker. So off comes the head again. Scarf comes off. Grenade belt back on. I guess Snake Eyes just isn't quite a scarf kind of guy. At least in my head canon, he just doesn't strike me as a scarf type. But anyway. But there you have it. Snake Eyes in Timber version 2. As I said, very, very nice looking figure. Timber looks great, as does Snake Eyes. Bring on every version of Snake Eyes that you can think of. I'll take them all. I'm that guy. I'm the target audience for this Snake Eyes. Despite us having, you know, 5 or 6 or 7 already, I think I have all of them, and I think I had all of them sort of with me here. You know, the 0002A, I guess, which I didn't grab. The movie version, the Commando version, the Fortnite one. Is that all of them? I think that's all of them. I'm looking forward to more versions. I'm looking forward, like I said, an Arctic version. Give me the sort of purple blue one from the cartoon. Give me one of each so that I get sort of both shades. Give me a red one from Dead Game. What else? Give me other versions. I'll take all the versions. There was in the vintage figures, they even did that sort of unmasked, you know, Vietnam War soldier type one. I would love to see that. A bit of a deep cut, but that would be a really, really great one. Sam Rock said the scarf looks like it's too big for the figure. Yeah, it doesn't fit quite right, and I think it's sort of you know, the problem is, you know, you can sort of see I don't know if it's going to translate, but like this is molded. How am I going to show this? Sort of keep it where it needs to be, but keep my. This is molded to fit like stalker's web gear. It's focusing on the knife. It's not focusing on this, but yeah, it's molded specifically for stalker's web gear, so it's molded to fit a specific figure. It works. You know, it sits on there okay. I think what you could do is if you had a figure in mind that you wanted to put this on, what I would recommend is heat this up, get it nice and hot, and then put it on the figure, and then kind of squeeze it on the figure. And you might get it to mold to the figure a little bit. Like it's not gonna. Okay, I phrased that wrong. It's not gonna mold to the figure, but it may sort of take a little bit better shape whereby it will fit on a particular figure a little bit better, because that plastic is quite malleable, and I think you could have some fun with it for sure. Jay said Commando Snake Eyes looks good with the scarf. Oh, fair enough. So you're saying this one with the scarf? Let's try that. Oh yeah, good call. I think that's a better. I think it's a better fit too. There you go. The weird thing is this guy's all black, so that kind of looks out of place. But it does fit a lot better. Like it's not wiggling around nearly as much. So that's definitely an option. I happen to have two of these, so I'm probably going to try to figure out a combination where this will work in terms of a custom figure. And by custom, I mean kit bash. I'm not doing anything. Not doing anything crazy. Anyway, thanks for the tip, Jay. I don't know that I ever would have tried it on him. Anyway, there they are. Snake Eyes and Timber. This is Open Late. I'm Adam. As I always say, it's way more fun to open your toys with friends. So I'm very happy that you guys have been hanging out with me while I've opened this up. Let me know your thoughts on this figure in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and if you want to be notified when I'm doing these videos, hit that notification button as well, so you don't miss me rambling on about toys that I love. Master Versal says, "Great live, sir, and thank you. Good night and good journey. Good journey to you too, as well. To all of you, not just Master Versal as well, but to all of you, good journey. Would look good on Beachhead. Yes, that's a good shout too. I think it would fit on Beachhead as well. And on that note, as I said, thank you guys all very, very much for joining me. We will do this again very, very soon. Have a great evening. Until next time, bye-bye.